Hi, this is Paul with PIM Tax Services, and I wanted to take a couple minutes and talk about recovery rebate credits and some strategies you might want to consider for your 2020 tax return. So if you didn't know, the recovery rebate credit is new in 2020. It's there on line 30. I've got it highlighted on the slide. You're looking at the back page of a Form 1040, and there on line 30 is the recovery rebate credit. So let me explain what that is. Right, we had stimulus payments. We had 2 rounds of stimulus payments in 2020 and in the beginning of 2021. Those were actually advanced tax credit payments based on your 2020 tax return. However, since there were no 2020 tax returns filed at the time these advanced payments, these advanced tax credits were authorized, 2019 tax returns were generally used. Sometimes 2018, but usually 2019 tax returns were used. All right, so in round 1, as a refresher, your stimulus payment should have been $1,200 if you were a taxpayer, plus another $1,200 for the spouse on your tax return if you were married and filing jointly, and $500 for each qualifying child. And a qualifying child has to meet the same requirements as a child for the child tax credit, so 16 years of age or under, living in your home more than half the year, etc. All right, there were phase-outs also for these stimulus payments. And for round 1, the phase-outs were based on your adjusted gross income. So high-income earners were not eligible to receive these, but married couples filing jointly started phasing out at $150,000, and single or married filing separate filers at $75,000. Round 2, which is going to be complete by January 15th of this year, is also an advanced credit from your 2020 tax return. So this one is $600 for the taxpayer plus $600 for the spouse if you're married and filing jointly, and $600 for each qualifying child. And the round 2 phase-outs are the same as the round 1 phase-outs. Now, the recovery rebate credit is there on the tax return to reconcile the amount of economic impact payment that you got. So if you didn't get all of the economic impact payment you were supposed to get, then the recovery rebate credit is there to make it up to you so that you get it all when you file. However, because we base the economic impact payments off of 2019 tax data, or the IRS did, right? And now we're going to true it up on 2020. There's some wiggle room. Let me show you a scenario that I see. So you have John and Mary with 2 qualifying children, and they filed jointly in 2019, and their adjusted gross income was $180,000. So they received no stimulus money. They were above the phase-out. They couldn't qualify to receive it. Of that $180,000, John's income is $60,000, and Mary's income is $120,000. So in 2020, if they filed separately, John could claim both the children on his return, and he now qualifies for recovery rebate credits. In fact, he's now eligible to receive $4,000 in recovery rebate credits because he would get $1,200 plus $500 and $500 for round 1, and $1,800 for round 2, and that comes to $4,000 in recovery rebate credits. Now, John and Mary need to look at their total tax situation and make sure that it's the smart play to claim these $4,000 in credits, but it's something you want to consider, or they should consider. And you want to especially also look at your state tax returns and your state tax laws with respect to dividing income between spouses, because community property, that has to be divided equally. All right, the other situation that I'm just going to talk to briefly is if you're divorced parents and sharing custody of your child and claiming alternate years for the child tax credit, well, then I don't see any reason why in 2019 the parent that had the child on their tax return and got $1,100 in stimulus payments wouldn't, that child would then also go to the other parent's tax return in 2020 and make that parent eligible for $1,100 in recovery rebate credits. It's currently allowed under the law. The IRS may come out with additional rules going forward that limit some of these things, but as of now, these are strategies you want to consider when you're filing your 2020 taxes. That is all I have for you. Thank you for listening.